Ooh, yeah, baby, let's go. It is Thursday, little kit Thursday. Show me your kits. Boom, that's what we do. I got mine on, you got his. If you're listening on audio, you're going to have to watch on YouTube. But here we go. It is the PHNX Rising podcast. Appreciate you guys joining us. I am Max Simpson, and I'm joined by my clearly Welsh fan, Mr. Owen Evans. How we doing, buddy?
Yeah, hello.
Hey.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. I like your nice pair of kits over there.
It's a new away kit here.
Yeah.
It's
would you like to describe it for the
yellow?
people?
It's got the you can't really see it on there, but it's got the old green and I'm using the wrong side. Maybe this one can get through. There you go. You can kind of see it now there, the green and the red on the side there. Yeah.
It's pretty snazzy.
It's yeah.
Okay, that's nice. That's
what you got there?
It's the Welsh away kit. I have of course the long heralded Cusco FC kit.
Oh, okay.
From when I went.
You're a big Cusco FC fan, yeah?
Massive Cusco.
Yeah, you go to all their games. You follow all their results.
Oh, I keep up.
How are they doing in the league right now, Max?
I keep up. I mean, I'm not saying.
How are they doing in the league?
I could not tell you. Yeah, that's okay.
You can tell me. Oh.
No,
How did they do last season? Good season?
I mean, to be fair, when I saw them, they were third in the table, so they were actually having a decent season.
He doesn't even follow him. This man's a fraud.
That's not a fraud. Okay, here's the thing. You're allowed to get kits, even of clubs you don't follow. If, you go there, not everything has to be, purely, I get a kit just because I follow that team. You're allowed to pick up other kits. Nothing wrong with that.
I don't know. Eric, what do we think? I think he's a
I would love
fraud.
to get another ruling on this opinion.
Producer Eric.
I think you're a fraud, Max.
Okay, well, but you thought that, regardless of the.
But this is just
thing.
proof.
Yeah, It's just confirmation to what I already know.
There's nothing wrong with that. I went to Cusco FC.
Listen, as a diehard Cusco FC fan,
oh yeah,
okay, you're stealing my valor.
Oh yeah,
my valor.
What does the stadium look like?
Oh, don't insult my intelligence like that with easy questions that we all know the answer to, Max.
Yeah, so
okay?
Yes.
So why don't you just skip the easy questions, stop questioning my fanhood, and start worrying about your own?
You know what?
Okay?
You're absolutely right. But
I think it looks like a football pitch with stands around it. To be honest,
shoot, he got what's he googling there over there, Owen?
Yeah, nothing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's what I remember from my countless hours watching.
Yes.
Anyway, it was cool. Went out and got one of those. What's it called? Like the stadium has
See, this is what Max does when he realizes that Spurs probably aren't making Champions League now.
Anyway, that's completely regardless of this. But no, right, Cusco City, it's a really nice stadium. The stands are all cool, like rainbow with like the mountains in the background. It just all looks very like picturesque.
Also, do you have any reply to the allegations that Stat Lackey has put on Twitter that actually we were late today starting because you were too busy watching Despicable Me 2?
He put that on Twitter?
Yeah. Were you too busy watching Despicable Me 2 to get here on time?
He was the one naming the different characters. I've never seen Despicable Me 2.
That's true.
So that's why you were watching it. Because you were so entranced with the story for the first time.
I wouldn't say entranced. I've only seen the first one, but this has gone completely. Am I the one that has to bring this on the rails? That's crazy. Yes, Andrew, that jersey. Appreciate that.
Who's your favorite Despicable Me 2 character, man?
I don't. Other than the Gru, and I can't even name anyone else in that.
You can't name any of the others.
How about the Minion?
You were watching that for almost an hour, and you don't even know the Minions' names. Minions have names too, man.
The yellow one, yeah.
Minions have names too.
Anyway, we got a great pod for you guys tonight. We got a little matchup up ahead. Phoenix Rising playing this one team from Sacramento.
They are
California, the capital. Capitals squaring off, by the way, Sacramento, California, and Phoenix, Arizona. It's crazy, but diving into this matchup, right?
Just look head to head initially. Just have a quick look at how these two teams.
Got a little graphic, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Little graphic action, right? Sacramento, their last match was a 3-1 win against Loudoun United, right? They're coming in hot. Last 5, a little bit of mainly a lot of draws, win, everything in there. The only remaining undefeated team in the Western Conference, right? They are first, top of the table. and Owain Phoenix Rising, they're coming off a win. That's something.
They are.
Yeah.
But not quite as, overall interesting to look at there. But yeah, Sacramento have really started the season off, I think, about as well as we expected them to. They're currently sitting atop the West, and we knew they were going to be there or thereabouts because the amount of players that they brought back because of Trevor Roman in there. I mean, again, they are one of only 3 teams in the entirety of USL and the only one in the Western Conference to remain unbeaten at this stage in the season.
I hear that's
It's
good.
literally them, Tampa Bay, and the Charleston Battery. That's all that's left that's unbeaten at this point in the season. So there you go. There is the evidence completely off the top there that this team they're playing is not going to be an easy one this weekend.
I hear that's pretty darn good. Right. Some of the notable players, right? Thank you. Shout out to Statlackey Reese, course for this one, right? We said Trevor Mon, the leading goal scorer, 5 goals on the season. Of course, Russell Cicerone, right? USL regular. This guy always can be found around the goal. 2 goals on the season, but 12 chances created, have those 11 successful dribbles. Definitely a guy to watch out for. This Sacramento team as a whole, right? Mention, hey,
there's a lot there.
Yeah, there's a lot. The last undefeated team unbeaten team in the Western Conference, right? XG hovering around a pretty clear number of goals that they have scored, right around that 13 mark. 82 chances created. They can score in bunches and they can threaten in bunches.
Oh yeah. And there was just so much when I tell you what, we'll listen to it in a second now. What Danny had to say about Sacramento, but he was asked very specifically about one player and just spins it into. You can't just focus on one player when you're looking at this team. Let's have a listen.
How do you solve a problem like Jack Gurr, and how do you, force your defensive alignment to make sure that he's being contained on their attacking right side while also making sure that Roro Lopez can't roam free and all the different attacking outlets that they kind of have?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you can name lots of players in that question. You say Jack, you say Roro, you can say Cicerone has been an incredibly important player for them. Obviously, a man in the first part of the season here has chipped in with a lot of goals, and they have good quality all over the field. And so while we're aware of individual threats and obviously individual players who have good ability and good quality, the fact that probably in that vein we're naming several players who we need to be aware of. The way to deal with that is to be very collectively connected and make sure that as a group that this is not about one player that we're playing against, and therefore it's not about one player for us that we task with any challenge to deal with an individual threat. We do this collectively, and there's if you only focus on one area of the field against Sacramento, they have good ability to hurt you in others, and so it can't be that way. And so we make sure that we collectively know exactly what we expect to see. We know exactly how we want to deal with that as a group, and then we have the fortitude of mind to make sure that we're resolute again in order to deal defensively with anything that they throw at us.
That's what you see from good teams, right? I mean, yes, they have guys who can score. They have people who can threaten in the attacking third, but we've seen the different iterations of this Sacramento team over the years. We've seen this in the team that Phoenix Rising, right, has faced in the playoffs on numerous occasions, that they are a full team with full team buy-in, and those types of teams, they just find ways to beat you. They find ways to not just hang around, but dominate. And this could be an interesting test for Rising for a honestly, not just very, more than game Sacramento team coming in.
No, it will be. It will be. And it's always difficult, right, when you face them because, yeah, they've got the flashier talent in there, but they've also got the veterans in there that can really, really hurt you. Rodrigo Lopez, Roro, mentioned in there. Depending on how he shows up in midfield, if he's having a good game, it's hard to play against him, right? This is a guy who's been with Sacramento now for a few years again after having been with them earlier in his career, and was one of their inaugural players. And he's got in the 80s, I believe, in goal contributions over the course of his USL career. And you look at some of the other players, and there's just so many people in there that, again, they brought back how much of that team from last year that made it to the Western Conference final, that looked so good in regular season play, that was one of the most dangerous USL teams, I think, that we've seen in a lot of ways. They are legit. We knew from the off, I think, that this team was one that was going to be contending for the title this year. And the fact that 8 games in, they're the only team left in the Western Conference that is unbeaten, and they sit atop the Western Conference, just proves that point here.
Yeah. You know, again, this is what we talk about when you talk about championship DNA, where you talk about a winning mentality. And even if people in the chat, right, they may not want to hear it, right? There's, people in the chat, Rising's biggest rival. You see Mike in there, whether.
Well, that's just Michael trying to do the usual and say that New Mexico aren't a rival.
Yes, no, and I get
it's the same argument he always makes,
and that's I get that, but no, and it's one of those things where it's like, this is why this club is always able to contend at the top, because they bring guys in fresh. They have that veteran instinct. And it's just gonna be interesting. It's always going to be a tough match when you face them, and they're on a hot run of form. I mean, we're going to get into, a bit later how Rising can find a way to win. But if you're Sacramento, is there anything special you do, or you just pretty much keep doing what you've been doing this season so far?
They're unbeaten in 8.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that their goals are coming from different places as well. It's not as though it's all just coming from a man who's been, I think, very good in his performances this year, right? We kind of knew that he was going to be dangerous, okay? We knew coming off of that season he had last year in Northern Colorado, and the fact that he was so good at finding the back of the net with Northern Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
We knew that he was going to be dangerous. He stepped up with Sacramento. I don't know if we quite expected him to be this dangerous, but the goals are coming from a couple of different places. I mean, you've also got Russell Cicerone, of course, has got 2 so far this season. Someone else here, and he's a new addition here, but Kieran Phillips. I'll tell you what, let's have a quick look at Kieran Phillips' numbers. Through his career in the Football League. Of course, he's coming on loan from Huddersfield. 75 games, 11 goals, 3 assists. Not always the flashiest there, but a lot of that is when he's a younger player, right? He's getting minutes off the bench. He's been on loan at Walsall, Exeter, Morecambe, Shrewsbury, and now that he's here in Sacramento, 2 games off the bench. Didn't get very much in his first one, but in his second game, he comes in, he gets himself a brace, and it's a brace that ultimately wins that game for them against Loudoun. I think he's a really interesting pickup for them. It's always good to have multiple players that are scoring goals for you. You don't want to put too much of that pressure on Trevor Aman alone. And I think he's really going to add something. But also, Danny, of course, spoke about what he thinks Kieran Phillips brings to their team. Let's have a listen now.
Well, I think Kieran is a good addition for them. He's a good player. I think he's a player that has a good background in the game and has a good pedigree. Maybe hasn't perhaps played as many games at his parent club as he would have liked to, but he's a player that's been on loan in a few places and had a good experience of competing at a professional level. And then, of course, we see in the game that they play this last weekend against Loudoun, Kieran comes on and scores 2 very well taken goals. And so I think he adds a dynamic threat for them. He adds, good movement and good activity. And then, when we base it off what we saw a week ago, 2 very, very high level finishes, right foot and left foot. And, that's a good signing for them. And, he will only add to the attacking threat that they have. And, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for the league when good players come into the league, wherever that is, whichever club that's at. And I think Kieran will add a lot positively to them.
The fact that in that last game he spent some of that time playing alongside a man in that one, I'm intrigued to see how those 2 link up. What you're going on with, in terms of how you're going to pair those, or do you look at him as a late game player, or I don't know, but it'd be interesting to see. And I mean, that's not necessarily a question for this week alone.
Sure.
Right? That's for Sacramento for their entire season going forward, how they choose to balance those things. But it'd be interesting to see. And again, right, just adding another player who is capable of finding the back of the net and comes in with that kind of pedigree to a team that already was pretty scary, to be honest, in terms of a USL Championship team, and just the talent they have at their disposal is it's quite a move for them.
I think it's going to be really fascinating seeing a lot of the off-ball runs and kind of that matchup between Sac's forward line and Rising's back line, knowing that Rising more than has the talent to do it, more than has the guys who have that championship title winning pedigree in the back line. But right, so the fact is, Rising, a lot of their guys, right, while they have a lot of experience from last season, still a bit of reshuffling that has gone on due to injury, due to fitness, what have you for this season. That's going to be a very tantalizing matchup.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we'll see. And then, of course, Zach, right, they don't just get there because they're scoring goals, defending. They're also doing it well. Goals conceded, 5. It's the least in the league. Expected goals is around that same number, so it's not like they're missing chances that they should. It's pretty much right there even. And, right, shots on target face total. Only 16 shots on target face. So
they're
not
an organized team. They always are. They always are.
Oh, man. Well, we'll see. It's going to be an interesting one, and it's going to be a tough challenge for them to get through. But, it's not a tough challenge. Getting a Polar Pop. They're friends at Circle K. And do you know why it's not a tough challenge? Because, we're Inner Circle members. I know you in the chat, y'all are Inner Circle members. And if by some reason you're not, what does the number 69 mean to you, Owen?
Number what?
The number 69. Because to me, it's how much money this here Polar Pop costs. That's right. 69 cents at Circle K for my Inner Circle members. All it takes, 69 cents. If you are an Inner Circle member, you get this bad boy any size. This is an XL. You can get a medium for 69 cents, a large for 69 cents, an XL for 69 cents, whatever you want. And it's just that darn easy. You can get a Froster with.
What do you get in there?
Well, to be fair, I did have. I do the old regular when I go into Circle K. I go in. I'm parched. I fill this 69-cent Polar Pop up with ice cold water. I drink it. I then put in some sports hydration drink, brand redacted, into that. I then drink that, and then I do maybe a little mixy. Maybe throw some brand name soda, brand redacted in there as well, and just have a little mix. It's a good time. This is actually
Max, you can
currently
actually
just water.
name what you got there from Circle K. You want to make it sound like they got good stuff there. Everyone knows
just
it,
water.
but
Well, this is water. This is actually
water
just
now.
this water. But here's the thing: you can save a bunch of money because you can get the nice bottled water if you like the convenience and all stuff at Circle K, which is nice. But I like the Polar Pop because you can fill that bad boy up, holds even more volume than those other waters. 69 cents. Ice cold water and the nice little crunchy ice. There you go. Boom.
Hold on.
Download that Inner Circle app today. Again, opt in with just a phone number. You will get 69-cent Polar Pops now through September 3rd. You got some time, but every single darn day, multiple times a day, do it now. Download the Inner Circle program. Again, terms and conditions do apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details. Oh yeah. And Damon's pointing because I got him an iced tea while I was there, didn't I? Oh, well, looky here. Mr. Wrexham himself, Mr. Damon Farrell. My man.
My boy Max. This is the beautiful thing about Circle K. My boy Max, cheap enough. He didn't even make me pay him back.
You're darn right.
Bought it for me.
I'm just a good guy.
Only at Circle K, Arizona iced tea.
I'm just a good guy. Just an absolutely good guy.
Dude, you know what's crazy is I'm so thirsty right now, and I don't have a free iced tea in front of me.
He didn't buy me a drink.
That's really weird.
You weren't even here when it happened. You were here. I got something for you in the fridge.
Lucky, did he buy you a drink?
I
didn't buy you a drink.
Hold on. Did
all
I
the people
offer?
involved in the show
Did I
today.
offer, Reese? That wasn't the question. I'm asking the question, did I offer? You did. Yeah, you're darn right I did. You're darn right I did. Yeah, and I definitely offered. I'm definitely not going to be offering you an OG's Brands because OG's Brands is for 21 years or older, which you are certainly not. And if you are 21 years or older, I recommend little OG's Brands. I saw Tim Robinson last night, a little comedy show, and it was great. And I indulged in a little OG's Brands. It kind of hit right as the show was going on, and it was fantastic. Those jokes hit so much funnier. Was laughing, got that little wheeze laugh, I hate all the different types of laughs. The wheeze laugh, the little bit of like the laugh where you're laughing so hard that you're just like no noise is coming out, and then the that kind of laugh, just a little
do it
bit.
again.
Oh, like the goofy laugh. Shit,
Come on, one more time.
No, I was doing this. I can't do it. Sorry, you had to be there. You had to be there. But OG's Brands, you can be there. And with any of the gummies that they have, check them out at ogsbrands.com. Find them on Instagram and all social platforms at OG's Brands. Of course, the fruits, the creams, sativas, the indicas, you know it. Must be 20 years or older to enjoy responsibly. All right. Enough that talk, although I do love it. Right, let's go on to Phoenix Rising. Phoenix Rising, right? This isn't just a one-sided team. This is not just a one-sided matchup, right? Two teams involved here. We talked a bit about Sacramento What are the keys? It's really just playing your game, right? They have the goal scorers on there. Owen, Phoenix Rising, they're coming off a win. Is there hope?
I mean, just purely by the randomness, you'd say yeah, but I would not be shocked to see Rising lose this game and not be particularly shocked to see them lose, by a few goals. Yeah.
Okay. So you're feeling unoptimistic, I hear.
Yes.
Unoptimistic. Okay.
So pessimistic is the word you're looking for.
Yes. I mean, I prefer.
Did you take an OG's today?
No, I just prefer. I have a rich vocabulary. I prefer unoptimistic. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Because it still has the word optimistic. That way I can go back if I need to be optimistic again. But anyway, yes. Phoenix Rising, if there is going to be a goal or a chance of scoring goals, I think there might be a man to do it. Or is that the way they do it is by relying on Remi Cabral? Any instinct there?
Yeah, I mean, they kind of have been a little bit over-reliant. Well, have they been? I don't know. Let's have a listen, actually, because I put that one to Danny Stone.
With 5 of your last 7 goals coming from Remi, is there any fear that maybe you may be becoming a little bit too over-reliant on him to get those goals? And is there anyone in particular maybe that you're looking to chip in with a few goals as well?
There's no fear at all with that, and I understand your question. I don't think it's an over-reliance on Remi, because at no point is anybody speaking to this team of players and saying Remi is the one that needs to be scoring the goals for us here. So yes is the answer to your second part of your question. We do need other players to, of course, chip in with goal threat, and we do need other players to be able to, of course, add to goals in the team. Absolutely, and we're aware of that, and the players are aware of that. Everybody's striving hard to do that. I think we have players who are, for every goal that Remi scores, it means that somebody and other players around Remi have done a good job to get him to that point and to create for him. And then obviously, like Fede coming on in the last game, in the last minutes there, Gabby, Darius, all involved with that passage of play. They come on and add to that third goal in the game. And, we're aware that, of course, without specifying anybody individually, for sure, we need other players in the game, in the team to score goals. Of course, we're going to need that. We don't ever expect that, no centre forward is going to score goals in every game that we play. And so, of course, we need other players to chip in on that goal tally. And we're aware of that. And, we're working hard towards that, not just for Remi, but for everybody involved.
It's quite a, this is just honestly a philosophical conversation of, you can say a guy who is chipping in a big bulk of the goals, who is getting in those threatening positions. You can make an argument that Rising is reliant on him and even over-reliant on him. But I don't know if, that doesn't mean it's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. They have a player who is producing. They have a guy at that number 9 position when he's out of the lineup. This is a drastically different team. Whether it's right or wrong to say that, listen, I think you ask, 10 different people, you might get 10 different responses and how they kind of articulate that. But the fact of the matter is, this team is better when Remi Cabral is in the lineup, when he's the focal point. And if you want a chance to beat Sacramento, he needs to be heavily involved.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, when we're talking about just how he's been doing, we can have a look at the numbers as well from his first 4 games of the season and the last 4 games of the season here. Just look at the minutes difference, and what I think that it also tells a lot of the story here, and just how many minutes he's actually played over those last 4 games. And when he's getting that much playing time, how that's really impacting the output. There 5 goals, 15 shots, so just 2 in those first few games, 7 on target, 3.18 xG compared to 0.28. He's really coming into something here. But to your point earlier, right there about, is it the over-reliance? Is it not? And we can kind of get into that. I think I wouldn't say necessarily it's over-reliance in the sense of, obviously you want your number 9 to be scoring a lot of goals and having a large part of the goal share. The biggest concern for me more than anything is just wondering sometimes when you look at it, where else would the goals come from? Are you going to consistently manage to get goals out of your Panos and Emi and Fede and to be honest, Darius, Darius probably should have put a few away, I think, so far this season that he's just not managed to do. That's the big question for me, is who's going to step up and be the obvious kind of second person chipping in, or just more broadly, are you going to get that group perhaps chipping in more regularly with goals? Because at the moment, most of those goals are coming from Remi Cabral, especially recently. Again, it's 5, and the last 7 goals are Remi Cabral's goals. Is that sustainable? If he has a bit of rough form, if he's injured, if, is that going to be enough? I mean, no one else has scored more than 1 so far. That's the concern.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because we were having this conversation, even back as, in the offseason when player signings were happening and everything. And as you saw the team, right, knowing who's leaving, knowing who's coming in, you're kind of thinking, well, just by nature, that there's going to be a lot of variety in who's scoring the goals this year. And I think the emergence of Remi Cabral being the player coming in who we had expectations for, and seeing him really coming into his own even more so during the time period with this team, I think it's kind of seen like he's kind of taken that position, and he's been the guy who's had to wear those goals. Yes, you see a couple other ones chipped in here and there, but I just don't think the way that this team has played has really been conducive to a lot of different goal scorers coming in. Yeah. It's people might argue whether that's good or bad. Again, and this honestly might just be an ongoing conversation. But I mean, the man is playing, 3 minutes shy of a full 90 in each of those last 4 matches, right? Almost over half a goal XG per match. He's getting in the good positions. He's threatening, and he's also laying it off for others, which you love to see. And it's been cool to see, because ever since that Tulsa game where he scored that brace, the man's just been honestly crushing it, which is nice to see.
Yeah.
Right.
No, he has been.
Right. We talk about Remi Cabral. That's going to be a very key part for Rising. Who else, if they're going to have a chance to beat Sac, who needs to have a big match?
Well, we know the one obvious candidate.
Oh, yeah?
It's going to be Rocco.
Oh, yeah?
Obviously. I think they're going to get a few chances in this game. The other thing I'm going to say, I'm going to bring up an interesting play here. I think Julio. I'm going to go with Julio. And why? Because I think that midfield, to me, I don't think you'll revert back to Jose Andres Hernandez in there. I'd be surprised if that's what Danny chooses to go with. Although, again, it's going to be a weird week with rotation because of the midweek game as well.
Yep.
I think Julio, because you need to have some attacking threat coming from the middle of the park. You need to have some kind of spark in the middle of the park. And you can't just rely on wide play, because I feel as though Sacramento were too smart. You need to have different ways of trying to get through. I'm going to say Julio. We'll see. We'll see how he does. Renzo, of course, as well. Really critical, I think, to see how Renzo does, because, again, you just need him to be a little bit more versatile in that midfield. We've seen him do it a couple of times this season. Not always, but we've seen him do it a couple of times this season. I think it's going to be an important one.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely like the shout, right? That midfield duo, they've been playing a lot more progressive in recent weeks. I think especially Renzo, we know that he's had those moments, especially this season, but I think the more he's able to push forward, and especially, right, this is no slight to Jose Andres Hernandez, but just knowing the player that he is and where he's playing those passes, to pair Renzo with Julio, who is a bit more forward-minded, I think it just makes to really keep the transition going with this team, to get them more on the front foot. And against a Sac team where you're going to need to score goals to keep up, it is going to be a key point. That's a good shout, right? There's obvious candidates of, guys, your Panos, everything like that. I'll put it to you this way, and I am curious, right? Rising has had quite the rotation of different, wing backs, swingers, whatever, depending on the formation that they're in. Who do you like in the matchup against Sac?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure if you make changes from last week.
That's a fair shout, too.
And to the 11, at least.
Chat, let us know as well.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, I tend to agree. I like the starting 11 in there, right? I think more than anything, not just from the perspective of the guys perform well, we've seen a lot of changing with this lineup. Again, as we've mentioned, there's a lot of guys who have come back to fitness. There's injuries. Those things are always going to happen. But knowing that there's certainly going to be a lot of rotation during this next week with the Open Cup match and everything like that, I would like to see the same starting 11 get a little bit of that consistency before, you're going to have to make a lot of decisions in the midweek fixture. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting. And some comments in the chat. Damon, everyone critical this week. Mikey saying that's where Fede comes in. Okay, Mikey also saying Gabby Torres should start every week. Okay, got some strong opinions in the chat. Owen, dare I ask the question, what do we have for a scoreline?
I'm not confident. And it's not necessarily rising, it's the fact that the opposition are very good. However, you know what? I think Rising will get on the board, but I just think they're not going to win. I'm going to go 3-2 Sacramento.
Interesting. Okay. A high scoring affair. I will go. I'll go 2-1. And probably for lack of better judgment, I'm going to go Rising. And it's not really up to like even necessarily form. Sac's a good team. They can only stay unbeaten for so long. That's a kiss of death right there. But yeah, I'm gonna go 2-1 Rising. Especially against these rivalry matchups, sometimes teams are due. Even if there's not a lot of evidence there. Sure, why not? Let's go. Right, chat, let us know as well.
Max, what was that score again, Max? You said? What was the scoreline you said again?
What? Why?
No, just tell me.
2-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
To Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, he's entitled to his opinion.
Of course. Yeah, 100%. It's saying Reese saying 4-1 Sac. That is okay. Let's see. Chat, shop in as well with your score predictions. I think Devenol earlier had like a 1-0 or something.
I mean, you say Rising is what, do a result in this one.
Mm-hmm.
They've beaten them 2-1 the last 2 times they've met them.
Would you look at that?
Playoffs and the home game at the end of last season.
Would you look at that? Well, I'm saying Rising's not due in the particular matchup, but Rising's due for a convincing win against a dominant team.
Okay. There
we go. Kevin in the chat. 1-1. Okay. Oh, that's debatable. 2-1 to Phoenix. Smart man. No, Damon, there is no more tattoos.
Max is getting a tattoo.
Shut up. You're crazy. Yeah, no, it's not happening. Yeah, keep on going. Oh, Kevin in the chat, Rocco, man of the match. I like that. I mean, I'll double down on what Owen's saying is Rocco will need to have at least one big save. And we're not talking, nice little save there. Like, he will need to make a point blank save to win this match. It's got to be one of those. They're going to be tested. They're not going to be, even if Rising wins or, Rising wins, Rising draws, they're going to be put under for good portions of this match. So they're going to need to play smart on the counter and, kind of take it to Sac. So again, Mike in the chat, 1-1. Yeah, I guess the score of the last match. What are we doing? No, that doesn't make any sense, Evan. Anything else from this matchup, seeing where Rising can take advantage?
No, I'm going to leave it there.
Leave it there. I like it. Well, if I'm going to be drinking a beer, maybe I'll leave it at Valley Taproom because that's where I can go pick it up. Pick up that beer, Valley Taproom, right? They got the 2 locations in Gilbert and Queen Creek. Valley Taproom. They have the trivia, the karaoke. They got delicious Four Peaks beverages, wine, slushies, everything like that. Quite a selection. Go to Valley Taproom across all socials at Valley Taproom. Of course, check them out online. ValleyTaproom.com. Going out with them. It's a good time. Especially
a good time.
People on the East Valley, check them out. Also, check out our friends at Four Peaks. Four Peaks, right? They got the brews. It is a wonderful time to be a part and taking care of the Four Peaks family because all the stuff they have got going on at their A Street Pub. You can also check them out at fourpeaks.com. Of course, you can find their beer a lot of places throughout the valley. If you're not going to their A Street Pub, right? You can check them out in stores, in your grocery store, convenience store. Circle K has them. Valley Taproom has them. Boom.
Yeah, Valley Taproom currently got the Wow on in Queen Creek and the Hop Not on in Gilbert. Did you know?
Darn right. You're darn tune they do. You can check out their Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale. It is the bee's knees, as the kids say, right? Dare you even say that's kind of taking the top spot in your lineup?
It's a good beer.
It's a darn good beer. Check them out. Four Peaks. Keep up the latest greatest going on in Arizona's hometown brewery. Must be 21 years or older to enjoy responsibly. Just getting in a couple of the last minute score predictions. Andrew in the chat, 2-2 or 3-2, and it might be a game of the week in the USL or a 3-2 win for Phoenix. Kevin saying the Heat will impact Sac. Interesting. Because Nell in the chat has a tactical strategy of her own of a certain nutrition.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be hot, but
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, especially like you've got to bear in mind when you say heat will impact SAC, it gets pretty hot there in the middle of the summer as well, and with a lot of players who've been through that. I mean, I don't know. Like this is. We're right about where, yeah, it's middle of summer for what it would be like for them, but it does actually get this hot up there. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it'll be quite as much of a surprise for them, per se, as maybe it would be for certain other teams.
There's from our chief meteorologist, Owain Evans, with the weather report.
I know it gets pretty dismally hot up there because I've been up there in the middle of summer.
Well, yeah, I mean, I live in that area for good.
Oh wow, where were you, Max? Was it
It was in Reno.
It was Reno. Reno. You were in Reno.
I was in Reno for 3 years.
Did you know that? Max was in Reno.
I used to live there for 3 years.
Oh, what did you do there?
Worked for Reno Aces.
Oh.
And Reno 1868 FC.
Oh, what happened to Reno 1868? They still running?
No, they're not.
No, they're not. Okay.
They don't. They did.
We got Lackey is just off screen saying Reno's in a box.
I mean, that's fine. I'm a Rising guy now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they win more games.
I
win
mean,
more titles.
I mean, yeah, if your club's still around, I think you can win more titles than one that's not. All right, that's just great math right there. Let's see. Reese saying nothing I want more than 105 degrees at kickoff back. Lackey, pipe down. No one wants that.
No one wants.
People in the chat, please feel free to agree with Reese's hot take. See what I did there. Hot take. We're talking about heat.
That made me legitimately angry. I'm about to throw this Mac on the ground.
I don't think you will. That's a pretty expensive Mac.
And-
You're right.
no,
I won't. You
by the
called
way-
my bluff.
By the way, no, Reese is not eating a celebratory hot dog if Rising win. We can't do that to the poor lad.
No. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. That's debate. Fair point. That's debatable. Honestly, that was a good. I was there. It was the last. That was the last.
Were you best friends
Yeah.
with Corey Herzog, as Michael alleges?
I was not best friends with Corey Herzog. I mean, listen, I've had a couple of nice conversations with him. I'm not going to say I'm best friends with the guy, but like, okay, that's fair. That's fair. People can have people. I get
We're
it.
not doing the hot dogs, Kevin. It's not gonna happen.
Dogs and Eric Rising win postman. Oh boy. Yeah, you people, and Eric's highlighting in the chat. Gosh darn it.
Got to give the people what they want.
I don't think we want to.
No, the people don't.
People
the
don't.
people can want what they like, but we're not. We're not eating.
No,
hot dogs.
you know what people want? People want Wrexham. People want the Wrexham.
No, they
it
don't.
Premieres. Damon, are you in here? Damon, you here? If Damon's here, I just put
Oh
out,
no, he's coming now.
I called out for the Damon dog. Oh, I hear him beckoning. Damon, what day is it? What happens tonight? It's Wrexham Day. Damon, this is the PHNX Wrexham podcast, Moonlight. Would you mind indulging the people?
Today is Welcome to Wrexham. What is it, season 3?
Oh my gosh! Wow, they just grow before our eyes.
I can't believe we're already here.
Wow, I wonder how it ends.
Rob and Ryan, man, they just keep doing it.
The
Good
boys.
old-fashioned Americans just getting in, fixing the sport the right way, and you just gotta love it. Biggest team in Wales. Max, are we still on for post game?
I mean, yeah. Oh, of course. Well, the PHNX Wrestling podcast, no one else going to cover it, just like us, collectively, all of us on screen.
They're the Office Club.
I mean, naturally, they're the People's Club.
They are the People's Club.
Yeah.
No.
I've heard that.
And Cusco FC.
Well, Cusco is up there, but it's not,
That's our Peruvian team.
Exactly.
What do you mean I don't get it? I'm their biggest fan.
You gotta have a
Disrespectful.
club in every country.
Okay,
This is our Welsh club.
Exactly.
And Owens.
Owen's practically repping them right now.
No, I'm not. No.
I mean, he's wearing the Welsh national team kit, but like inside, he's really like, yeah, but if it's a club team, it's gonna be Wrexham.
No.
It's the same thing. The Welsh national team in Wrexham. It's the same thing.
You know what? It will. Be.
Nothing could be more iconic American right now than having 3 American lads tell me stuff about my own country. Like, I'm sorry, lads, you really couldn't live up to the stereotype.
I
I like to think Wrexham is part of our culture.
I like to
now.
think so.
Yeah.
I like to think that we kind of got into Wrexham and we made it American. We made it
It's
ours.
not our fault. Your culture needed saving.
It's bigger than
It's not our fault.
That's a goddamn fact.
It's not our fault.
That's a damn fact.
Dude, I've never seen him. And I think he's really
I
angry.
can't wait till half the.
We
half
don't
the
even
Washington
have any
Wrexham.
oil, boys. What are you coming for?
Your
Leave us
sport.
alone.
We're coming for your sport.
We got gas. Shout out Circle K. They got the best gas in the valley. All right. Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you, Damon, for that nice Wrexham update. Wrexham, baby. Let's go. Devin all saying Owain like sheep. All saying Cardiff season it ends in misery. Oh boy, get those likes up, people. Wrexham talk, biggest club in Wales aside. Anything else we need to hit on?
Yo, I've never seen him like this before.
He tries to dissuade because this is a great moment.
Back to the hot dog thing, though. I don't think that you guys should eat the hot dog on post game. I think you should eat the hot dog during the game so that whatever consequences you reap happen during the
We're
post
not
game.
eating the hot
Eric,
dog.
you weren't there. You haven't listened.
I've heard the stories.
Listen,
We're not eating the hot dog.
We give Statlack Reese our time, and we have him. He puts in a lot of good work for us. But I know a person's limits. Okay.
Yeah, we're not gonna make him do that.
No.
And we're not gonna do it
We
either.
ain't doing that. No.
No more hot dogs. No more hot dogs.
No more hot dogs, but-
That is clear.
I will tease one thing. Make sure to follow us on, follow the @PHX__rising account because we will, be doing a little food tour to Phoenix Rising Stadium. We're going to be hitting up some new concessions and doing more food reviews. No hot dog ones. And do of the different concessions. And, Statlack Reese and I, we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a damn good time. Yes, when is the PHNX _ Wrexham Twitter dropping? It'd be a shame. I'm just going to say this. It'd be a shame if, actually, no, I can't say it'd be a shame if that pops up because then I'll get hit up by our brand and social team and be like, take that down. So do not create that account. But
do not encourage people to.
I just said don't. I just said do not do that. Do not do that.
Don't even engage the people here now.
You know what? You're right. I'm so sorry. Slide in the chat with a lead shout out.
No.
I mean that's DNVR's club.
No.
That's DNVR's club's lead.
No.
No. DNVR can have leads.
They're just wrong.
We have Wrexham. Yeah, dude, they're a leads club. Isn't that kind of random? They love leads up there.
It's weird.
RK, who is runs content up there and everything like that
Because they have bad taste.
Him and Ali, head of the head of back end production and everything. They went to a Leeds match and they won in like dramatic fashion when they were in the last season they were in the Premier League, and they're like Leeds fans. And like they do Leeds games at the DNVR bar and all that stuff, but like they're apparently a Leeds network up there.
Wow.
But you know what? That's fine. You can have your Leeds.
You're allowed to be wrong.
They
It's
aren't
okay.
Wrexham. They aren't Wrexham. Because here's the thing: you can't spell Wrexham without we, and you can't spell Wrexham without Wrexham. Without Max. Yeah, you can't spell Wrexham without Max. Rearrange the letters, baby. But it's in there. Right? R-E-X-H-A. Yeah, letters. Boom. Spelling. Let's go. Anything else you got, buddy?
Is he okay?
No, I'm okay.
I don't think he's okay.
Yeah, I just love my club. So sorry.
You wouldn't understand
Well,
passionately supporting
yeah,
a
you
club
wouldn't.
like that.
Yeah.
Boys, I've been to the race course twice, which is probably 2 more times than either of you
You don't know that?
combined.
Brother, I'm there every weekend.
Man, I can't wait till this podcast goes and watch some Wrexham matches during the tour when they're here. True club. We're going to make a Wrexham Stadium wherever we go. Oh man. Well, I think this has been everything. Love it. Appreciate everyone joining us here on the
PHNX is not Leeds, Sly.
No. Oh yeah. No. No. Yeah. We appreciate everyone joining us here on the PHNX Wrexham podcast. I'm sorry. Force of habit.
Right,
The
just
PHNX
at this point. No. Eric, please do me a favor. Can we just cut his mic off?
No.
Oh boy.
Please.
No.
Please.
Good man.
No.
Do us all a favor.
Good man. Well, everyone, this has been the PHNX Rising podcast. Of course, make sure to follow us at PHNX__Rising because double the underscore. Double the Wrexham! All right, you can follow me.
I shouldn't have left him
Wrexham. Let's go.
Oh
You can follow,
my God, Max,
you can follow
something
You can follow me on Twitter at MaxDavidSimpson. And you can follow Owain on Twitter at OJEvans18. You can follow Statlacky Reese on Twitter at Reese11_. You can follow massive Wrexham fan Damon Dog at DamonDog, DAWG. I got you. You can follow Eric Ruby, behind the Mac producer extraordinaire, at Eric Ruby on Twitter. And of course, you know, Jacob Franklin, good guy, also massive Wrexham fan. You can watch him on the documentary on that one network. I think he might have made the cut within Wrexham. It's the brand service with the green, starts with an H, rhymes with a Ulu.
Now I'm going to cut your mic off.
Yeah, that's fair.
All
fair.
right. Just stop. There was actually one question that I'd actually
what's
like
up?
to get to. It's slightly tiny little bit further up in the chat. Sorry, just before we go. Since we already won the league, how much importance do you place on the Cup? I'm going to say this. I'd actually think this year is a really interesting and good opportunity to win the Open Cup, and I think they should be taking it seriously.
We should.
It's sandwiched between two difficult league games, which makes it hard. However, this is the year with less MLS teams. The fact the Champions Cup spot is still attached to it. This is the year to really go for it. Why not? Make it a run. Let's see.
I mean, heck yeah. We
Completely interrupted the flow to do that, but I was going to address in that.
No, and that's okay. That's debatable. Thank you for the question. Kind of stole the thunder because that's pretty much what we were going to say next week. But you know what? Better early than never at all.
Especially because I'm not going to be on the midweek shows next week except the post game.
Exactly.
I know.
And that is going to be all
travel
good.
days.
Yes. And I appreciate better early than good, just like the Wrexham doc. Dropping again tonight, but again.
Max, you're giving away 3 ads right now.
But hey, appreciate everyone joining us. It is the beautiful game, but it's way more beautiful when you support your club. Let's go.
We all silly like the mayor.